We as human beings are some of the longest living mammals in the world. Have you ever wondered why? Well, there was one particular paper where they took a look and wanted to find out why. So they looked at the concentrations of the antioxidants that were present in different mammals. And they found that it directly correlated with the length of their lives. The more antioxidants they found in a mammal, the longer that particular mammal lived. Now, we as human beings had the highest level of antioxidants in our bodies, and consequently, we tend to live the longest. So is it unreasonable to assume that if we're using additional antioxidants like proanthocyanidin, that we will not increase our longevity? We should be able to live 120 years from many studies that have been reported. Not many of us are. And the reason because of that is we're filling our bodies with free radicals and we don't have the proper antioxidants to take care of them. The proanthocyanidins make very good sense to me to use as an anti-aging property. Now, I'm speaking as my own opinion on this, but it makes very, very good sense. As a matter of fact, another physician, a Dr. Denham Harmon, in the 1950s, proposed his theory of aging was built upon free radical related diseases, and that free radicals caused aging. Now, we're just now starting to see that perhaps that's true. It's been 40 years in the making, 40 years for us to finally figure out that maybe Denham Harmon really knew what he was talking about, but we're seeing over 200 papers each month being released about free radicals and the effects of the antioxidants, not only on prolonging life, but prolonging and postponing disease and disease states. I strongly suggest that you start looking at proanthocyanidins as a way of augmenting your own personal health. I think it's very important that you start reading and learning more about how to keep your body healthy, because if you depend on physicians to do this, I believe you're going to be sadly disappointed. We physicians treat disease. We do not treat wellness. If you wish to remain healthy, start studying for yourself. Start using these phytonutrients, of which proanthocyanidin is one of the most powerful. Read for yourself, use the proanthocyanidin. It's time to take a look. It's time to open up your mind and be able to receive additional information concerning your ability to maintain your own health. I would hope that at this time that you would pay strict attention to these people who have been trying the proanthocyanidins and listen to the results that they have gotten.
A year ago, I went to the doctor for a routine pap smear, and the doctor's office called back, and I had a condition that was abnormal, and it was called dysplasia, and the degree of it was moderate to severe. If you're not familiar with what dysplasia is, it's an abnormality of the cells, precancerous, and it usually is on the cervix. The doctor sent me to a gynecologist and said, the gynecologist gave me a biopsy. And the biopsy got sent off to a lab, and when it came back, it confirmed the results, moderate to severe dysplasia. I had a consultation with the doctor, and he said that he recommended that I have an operation called a conectomy that would remove all these cells plus a rim of normal cells around it to make sure that he got it all. And he stressed that cervical cancer was really deadly and very aggressive, and I didn't want to mess with it. And in my case, because it was severe, he thought that I should have this particular type of surgery. I went ahead and had that and went along on my merry way. And 3 months later, I had to go get a follow-up pap smear. So I went for the pap smear, and he called, and he had some bad news. The dysplasia had returned in a moderate to severe form again. I was very upset about this. I had a lot of cancer in the family. I've also had a problem with my immune system for the last 20 years, which made it much more likely that I was going to have a reoccurrence or problems. At that point, he recommended that I have my cervix and uterus removed. And my other doctor said to do it quickly. Both of them really emphasized how terrible this was and that I should do it soon. So I did schedule the operation for 6 weeks from then. And in 2 weeks, my husband and I ran into an old friend that we hadn't seen in years, and he told us about a product, a supplement called OPC, which was a bioflavonoid, all natural. And a lot of his friends and family had taken this supplement and recovered from really devastating diseases. He talked about somebody that had fibromyalgia, osteoporosis, a stroke, and leukemia, and hepatitis C, and that had varying degrees of improvement and sometimes huge and complete turnarounds. I just thought it sounded too good to be true, but I really trusted this man. I'd known him for a long time, and I didn't know him to be an exaggerator or a liar, so I tried it. I went and bought the OPC and another supplement, and I started taking it. The operation was getting closer, and I was getting calls from the office that I should order my painkillers, IV painkillers, because I was going to be home shortly after the surgery. And I just was not sleeping at night and not feeling good about the whole situation. So I called the doctor, and I told him what I was doing and told him I wanted to give these supplements a chance, and asked him how dangerous it would be to wait a month. He said a month would be okay, but don't wait 3 months. He wouldn't recommend it. So I took the OPC for the next 4 weeks. So for a total of 6 weeks, I took these supplements. I went back for the biopsy, and I got a call within a week from the doctor, and he left a message. The other times that he had left a message, I never wanted to call him back. My husband had to prod me to, because he'd just say, "This is Dr. So-and-so, and I need you to call me," and it didn't sound good. But this time he said, "Jean, I've got good news. You need to call me." Oh, my heart leapt when he said that. So I dialed the phone quickly, and I asked him, and he said, when he answered the phone, he said, "I'm baffled, but I'm pleased. The dysplasia is gone and you no longer need the surgery." I was so happy and excited. And now I'm going on vacation in 2 weeks, and I'm going to a family reunion. Instead of using my vacation strapped to an IV bag, I can tell you I'm really going to enjoy this family reunion much more than you can imagine, because I'm so grateful that I didn't end up in that other situation. The other difficulties that I've had with my health and my immune system, I see an improvement, and I'm also very encouraged that my immune system will continue to strengthen, and that I feel I've got a hedge against cancer. When I first had the diagnosis, I felt utterly powerless. I said, my cells have gone wacky, I eat pretty good, I sleep at night, what else can I do? And now I really feel like I've got more tools in my arsenal to keep myself well and to keep myself going stronger.
Hi, I'm Pam Corlett, and I'd like to share with you some information about OPCs. I started on the products myself last fall. I have had cancer, which resulted in 5 surgeries in a 9-month period of time. Shortly after, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Since starting OPCs, I really feel like I have gotten a lot more energy. I am no longer taking any medication for fibromyalgia. Even though I still have some symptoms, they are much more tolerable. Because of this and my experience with OPCs, it got me to a point where I tried my son, Chris Klein. My son has ADHD and OCD, and right now I'd like to talk to a lot of the parents out there. If you have a child or know of a friend or even an adult who has ADHD or OCD, you know how it can impact their life. Even though this is not life-threatening, it does make a major difference in their life every day and everybody around them. My son was having 4 and 5 panic attacks a day. We were living from one homework assignment to the next because of his compulsion to be perfect, because of his hard time in staying focused and doing the work. He's a very bright, very talented young man who wants desperately to do very well and has high dreams and aspirations for himself. But these disorders were getting in the way. We started him on Ritalin about 4 years ago. 2 weeks into the Ritalin, he started developing personality changes, became very aggravated, and in 2 weeks became so depressed, my son wanted to die. Obviously, we had to stop the medication. It was hard enough for us to get to a point of giving my son the medication, but it became clear after dealing with like 3 or 4 different doctors that he needed some kind of support. Well, this sent us on a search of trying to find a medication that would help Chris and give him the support that he needed. And unfortunately, there was not a medication out there that he could take that didn't have adverse side effects. By taking the OPCs, the thing to me that's so amazing, and I hope a lot of you parents can identify with, when you have to make a decision about putting your child on medication, there's a lot of fears involved with what the side effects are, how much testing has been done on children. It can, like Ritalin, it can stunt the growth, reduced appetite, and the other one that I did not know was depression. OPCs has no side effects. To see my son have his life back where he can concentrate enough to get his homework done. No, it's not a cure. He still has ADHD and he still has OCD, but they're manageable. He is a very happy child. He's doing very well.
Hello, my name is Chris Klein. I'm 13 years old, and I would like to share with you how OPCs has impacted my life. In my opinion, patients are the real experts of how they feel and what can make them feel better. I've been diagnosed with ADHD and OCD, which has made my life very stressful. ADHD is like living in a fast-paced kaleidoscope where thoughts, images, and sounds are constantly shifting, which makes my life very confusing and stressful. OCD constantly makes my mind feel like everything that I do has to be perfect, which makes it very difficult for myself to complete tasks in a timely fashion and makes me lose a lot of sleep. To treat these disorders, if you will, I've been trying a lot of medications, including Ritalin, starting off in Ritalin, and ending on Lovox. However, I've had there's side effects to each one of those medications that I've been tried on. Since then, my mom has asked doctors if it would be okay if I try OPCs to help with my disorders. They said yes. Since then, I haven't had any panic attacks. I do my homework in 2 hours instead of 7, and I haven't had to use my inhaler or any other allergy medications that I had to in the past. Since now, I think I have my life back. Personally, I give a big thumbs up to OPCs.
My name is Athena, and I'm 12 years old, and from when I was 4 to 9 years old, I was experiencing symptoms that doctors could not put a name to. I was visiting many doctors at many times in many places. When I was 9 years old, I was taking many pain medications and muscle relaxers just to be able to walk. I was taking aspirins 24 hours a day and visiting the doctors 3 or 4 times a week, and I was lucky if I could complete 1 day of school a week. My parents got me into the NIH to see 5 top specialists for 3 days. They diagnosed me with the disease of fibromyalgia. I had no idea what it was, so I asked them, and they said that basically I would be experiencing the pain and I should try to ignore it, and they gave me stronger medications, which just made me sick. I could no longer do anything fun. I couldn't jump on a trampoline, I couldn't walk, I couldn't run, I couldn't skate, or anything like that. 9 months later, we went back to the specialists, and they said that I was stable, even though I didn't feel any better. 3 weeks later, I started taking OPC, and within 3 weeks, I felt better. I could do sports, I could run, I could play outside, I could jump on a trampoline, I could skate. I could do anything, and now I've taken the sports of basketball, volleyball, softball, and soccer. I used to have to wear glasses, and now since the OPC has improved my eyesight, I don't have to wear them anymore.